South Carolina Cowboy, you're saying best book printed in the best state, South Carolina. You're damn right that my new poetry book, Poems to Read While Smoking Cigarettes, available now on Amazon, is the absolute best book ever, and it is the best book ever produced, ever manufactured in South Carolina. However, South Carolina is not the best state. The best state is North Carolina. South Carolina, it's not the worst state. Don't get me wrong. That would be New Jersey. And I would have to say, number two, I would have used to say California, but I visited and had a great time there, so I'm no longer going to say California. But New Jersey is, without a doubt, the worst state. South Carolina, it's not as bad as New Jersey, but that's not really a high bar to jump over, I will acknowledge. That's not really a high bar to beat. South Carolina, it's pretty mid-range at best. South Carolina, pretty mid-state. I'm sorry I had to say it. South Carolina, it just doesn't compare to North Carolina, I will acknowledge. That's just the truth of the matter. Had to do it to him. And South Carolina Cowboy, you're asking why I spoke bad about the best state, which in your opinion is South Carolina, while on the Gobcast. Well, I did speak bad about South Carolina while on the Gobcast, and frankly put, I was very warranted in doing so, because South Carolina is not the best state. North Carolina is the best state. South Carolina, it's mid-range at best, I will acknowledge. I mean, like, there's some stuff going for it kind of thing. There's the beach, there's a couple mountains, you know, you can get a tour of, like, let's say the BMW manufacturing plant where they make, like, I think it's X5s in the United States and stuff like that kind of thing. That's pretty cool. I did that a couple years ago. The BMW manufacturing plant tour was a fantastic time, and I had a great time there. Probably the best time I've ever had in South Carolina. And you know, I gotta admit, like Charleston, Greenville, South Carolina, they're pretty solid places kind of thing. I've been to both before, had an okay time kind of thing. But the fact of the matter is that South Carolina is the lesser Carolina. It's not a good Carolina. And frankly put, having South Carolina have the Carolina name is an embarrassment to us North Carolinians. South Carolina just makes us look bad in every way, shape, or form just because they so happen to have Carolina in the same name that we also somewhat share. I don't appreciate South Carolina trying to steal North Carolina's swag. It's just not cool, frankly put. South Carolina is the lesser Carolina, and it will always be that way. Oli, you're saying, bro, saying that like Connecticut isn't the state? Connecticut is an state. Connecticut is not the state. Now, Connecticut has some things going for it. For example, Connecticut is far superior to Massachusetts and New Jersey, which are two states that Connecticut is kind of somewhat nearby. In fact, I would have to say, to an extent, Connecticut is pretty based, as the last time I drove through Connecticut, they had signs on the exact border with Massachusetts saying, hey, do you guys want menthol cigarettes? Stop by right over here 5 feet away from the Massachusetts border and we'll sell you menthol cigarettes when you can't get them there, because menthol cigarettes are banned in Massachusetts, I will acknowledge. So Connecticut kind of based for that. I'm not going to lie. Connecticut kind of based, just simply due to the fact that they have menthol cigarettes. They advertise menthol cigarettes when Massachusetts don't. But Connecticut is Connecticut. What's come out of Connecticut? What inventions have come out of Connecticut? You know, thinking about North Carolina, we have Pepsi, Krispy Kreme. We have flight, airplanes. They were invented in North Carolina. And that's without even mentioning that we have Cheerwine, without even mentioning that we have so much more than just that. We have the Biltmore Estate, for God's sake. The largest previously privately owned house in the entire United States. That's in North Carolina. What does Connecticut have? Kia Boys and menthol cigarettes. And don't get me wrong, that's pretty baller, I gotta admit. However, it just doesn't hit the same level as airplanes. North Carolina. Airplanes were invented here. So I'm saying, Connecticut is not the state. It is an state. I have no beef with Connecticut. I want to clarify. But saying that Connecticut is the greatest state to ever exist, is simply not factual and is simply not true. I do apologize. If you're from Connecticut, we're just jesting. We're just joking around. But Connecticut, I'm sorry. It's not the greatest state to ever exist. And that is the truth of the matter. That is the truth of the matter, I will acknowledge. Anthony Fantano is from Connecticut. I'm so sorry, Fantano. Could have been worse, though. Could be Los Polos in, New Jersey. Could have been Los Polos TV in New Jersey. They ain't even got a baseball team. Bro, New Jersey sucks so much. Oh my God. People be dissing on North Carolina for not really having too many professional, like, sports teams and stuff like that kind of thing. This year, the Carolina Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Ain't nobody can say that we ain't up in the upper leagues of competitive professional sports anymore. We got NASCAR at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, baby. We got the Carolina Hurricanes at the no longer called PNC Arena in North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. They won the Stanley Cup, baby. We got the Carolina Panthers. We don't talk about them. They're pretty trash. We don't talk about them. Maybe they'll win eventually. North Carolina goated. North Carolina goated. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Now, Trill Poppy, you're saying, in your opinion, nothing beats Texas. Now, I gotta admit, Texas does have a lot going for it. I'll acknowledge. You know, Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, pretty mid. The area around it, pretty mid as well kind of thing. I haven't ever been to anywhere else within Texas, though, I gotta admit. Never been to Austin, never been to Houston, never been anywhere besides the immediate area of Dallas-Fort Worth Airport within Texas, I will admit. But, you know, Dr. Pepper, that's Texas. You know, Texas used to have a Dr. Pepper-themed license plate. Now, how baller is that? That's insanely baller. That's insanely cool. A Dr. Pepper-themed license plate? Bro, that's awesome. Nah, Texas kind of based for that. I'm not going to lie. Texas kind of based for Dr. Pepper and having a Dr. Pepper-themed license plate. That's awesome, I gotta admit. I absolutely love that. W Texas Power Grid. Yeah, as we all know, Texas's power grid is absolutely one of the best in the country as well. Doesn't compare to North Carolina's. I'm just going to say it straight up. But it's one of the best in the country. And it's raining, it's thundering a little bit in my local area. We're getting a little bit of ambient rain noise coming on during the stream today. Absolutely no complaints on my behalf. But, yeah, Texas, I ain't got no beef with Texas, I'll acknowledge. South Carolina Cowboy, you're saying they invented evil in New Jersey? No, I really do think they did. I really do think evil was invented in New Jersey. New Jersey is an evil state. And if I had my choice, we would blow up the border of New Jersey with every state that it connects to and shove it off into the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and then blow it up more and sink it and it'll become Atlantis, but not cool because nobody will be living there. It'll just sink into the not Mariana Trench because that's in the Pacific Ocean, not the Atlantic Ocean. But what I'm saying we should do with New Jersey, we should blow up New Jersey and push it off into the Atlantic Ocean. Mount like 5,000 jet motors to it. And then we should take it through the Panama Canal, push it over to the Mariana Trench and the Pacific Ocean, and sink it right there so nobody ever has to see it again. I'm just saying. Yes, sir, yes, sir. That is what we should do with New Jersey. You know, when Chief Keef said in a very iconic song, "We gon' blow New Jersey up," never has there ever been a more relatable sound, music, lyric of all time. Because we gon' blow New Jersey up. When I become president of the United States in 2028, which I will, I'm running on the basis that I will re-legalize flavored cigarettes and that I'm going to bring back menthols to California and Massachusetts, and I'm running on the basis of deregulating the tobacco industry. Asbestos filters, they're coming back, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Asbestos insulation, that's coming back, baby. That's what I'm talking about. But that was a little bit of a side tangent there. I am running for president in 2028. Make sure to vote for me. Jacob fucking Jones. Highly recommend. Just write that down on the ballot itself, exactly verbatim as I said. I will be running through the tobacco party. I will acknowledge, and one of the things that we will be doing, when I become president is blowing up New Jersey. Just frankly put, it's no longer going to exist. I'm going to demolish all of the housing, all of the landfills there. Newark Airport, it's going to be gone. Newark Airport, it ain't going to exist because we going to blow it up, baby. It's going to be gone. And then we're going to demolish just the entire state. We're going to push it off the continental shelf and sink it in the Mariana Trench, baby. That's what I'm talking about. When Chief Keef said, we going to blow New Jersey up, man, I really felt that. I gotta acknowledge. I really felt that. Now that's what I'm talking about. Now that is a relatable music lyric if I do say so myself. And thank you so much as well for the 100 bits, Mr. DeChromie99. You just said, blow New Jersey up. That's the plan. You also said, I think we need to blow New York up too. Nah. I don't know about blowing up New York. New York City, I've been there. I enjoyed my time there, I will acknowledge. Long Island, don't know anything about it. Maybe we can compromise and blow up Long Island. Not exactly sure. But I like New York City. I like upstate New York. Upstate New York is absolutely gorgeous. Some of the most beautiful nature I've ever seen outside of North Carolina, I will acknowledge. And so I'm not really one for blowing New York up. I do have some beef with New York, like cigarette pricing and the fact that some of the highways don't have rest stops on them, which they really should. And there's some other things about New York that I'm not really the biggest fan of. But overall, New York as a state, I really have no beef with it. And so I do not believe in blowing up New York or New York City. Personally, I will acknowledge. And you're also saying, okay, I'm not saying that out loud. I don't want to get into politics, man. I don't want to get into politics, but no, that would not happen. Hell nah, bruh. Hell nah. Appreciate the 200 bits, Mr. DeChromie99. That ain't happening. Ain't no freaking way. Ain't no way would that happen. Hell nah, bro. Hell nah. Appreciate the 200 bits, though. I'm not saying that out loud, though. I don't need that clipped.